Welcome, Patrick.
Thanks, Jake. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Thank you for being here today.
No problem. And the first answer to the question that nobody ever asks but always wants to know is why lemon tree? So when life gives you lemons, get better PR.
Very funny. Very nice. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your connection to Nevada County, and how you came to this position.
No problem. Well, our family goes back. We used to have the dairy that's actually over by where the 49er Fun Center is. Our family is also the BNC. Our aunt's has a school named after her. I mean, so we are very deep inside Nevada County. We're just off of Adams and Rocky Ridge, Rough and Ready. So we're local. We've had a lot of ties there. We split our time right now because my wife actually works out of Modesto pre-COVID times. So I spent a lot of my time down in Elk Grove. But we are very impressed with what the Center of the Arts has been able to do. And we were so looking forward to the big opening and being able to have things be as normal before COVID hit. So congratulations to you guys on a spectacular remodel.
Great. Thank you very much. Sorry, I was just distracted by, remind everybody we're going to be asking questions in the chat. And again, I don't think I introduced myself. My name is Jacob Freydont-Attie. We're here talking with Patrick about digital art, about promoting digital art. So you have a whole presentation prepared for us?
I do. And just a little bit about my background. I was a deputy press secretary for the state of California for the Department of Insurance. After that, I was actually a communications director for a boutique agency that handled luxury home goods. I have a young child that's now just turned 9, and I was spending more time in LA and New York on press junkets and raising him over FaceTime, and came to the realization that someone else was controlling my destiny and telling me who my clients were going to be and what I was going to be promoting and writing press releases for. And I'm very much a person that has strong opinions, and I wanted to make sure that I could come home to my son and not have to worry about someday having to explain to him why I was writing press releases for big tobacco or something else. So I started my own agency and have been concentrating on nonprofits, the arts, wineries, farmers markets, basically anything that's putting smiles back into the community or helping to feed people. So I'm going to share some knowledge with everyone. I encourage as many questions as possible. All of this can be adapted for any kind of small business, and I want to make sure that you guys walk out of here learning something new. I do a lot of training. You'll have my information at the end of this, so don't hesitate if you have additional questions. I'm just another resource for you now, so just go ahead and reach out, and as you have questions, feel free to bounce things off with me. That's what I'm here for. So I'm going to go ahead and do a share screen here. Give me just 1 second. There we go. Everybody can see that. If you can give me a thumbs up so that I know that you can hear my voice okay.
Looks great.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So when we're talking about digital marketing, there's a couple things that we're going to touch on here that we're going to just kind of briefly go over. Do not worry about taking a lot of notes. I'm sure that Jake can make sure that everybody can get a copy of this presentation. So I want you just to be able to soak it in, have questions. Don't worry about trying to write a lot of stuff down. That's not what this is about. We're going to expose you to a couple things, and if you can walk away with a couple tools, all the better. So when you are trying to do your digital marketing, we need you to stay focused. We need you to find your niche, and we need to cultivate your email because one of the biggest tools that you can walk out of here with is realizing that you have to build that email list. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, MySpace came and gone. There's other platforms that have come and gone. Those will too at some point. So, but if you have your email list, you can keep track of your clients and your customers and your fans by keeping in touch with them and sending out emails and digital newsletters. So that is your true value. That is probably one of your largest assets as having a business. Other than maybe your inventory, it's your contact list for your customer relationships. So, and then I'm going to talk about how to build a marketing funnel so that you can convert customers from fans to collectors. So let's go ahead and get in there. One of the important things is to try to make it easy for your customers to find you. All of the different platforms that are out there, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Pinterest, all of them. If you have a custom username, so a URL that you've purchased, hopefully it's less than 15 characters, because then you can also grab a username across all of the different platforms. Many times we have people come to us and say, I've just started a business, this is what it's named, and we bought a website and now we want to get started doing our marketing. You actually start doing your marketing before you ever even file with the state or get your business license, because when you're starting to grab URLs, you want to see what is and isn't available. And there are services out there called things like Name Checker that's on the screen, that when you put in your brand name, it'll tell you, is the .com available? Is Facebook available? Twitter, Instagram, all of those. So that way you know right from the start, if I buy this URL, can it also be the same thing for my username? So Lemon Tree Agency is our domain. It's our email, it's our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter, our YouTube, our Pinterest. It's everything straight across the board, because then if you capture someone on one platform, it's only going to make it easier for them to become fans on other platforms. So if YouTube disappears tomorrow, they'll still be able to find you on other channels very easily. So that's the power of having a consistent brand. And it's important to start there. Now, consistency and staying focused with your messaging to get out there is very important, because as people are getting used to seeing you, they become more comfortable with who you are, and they're more likely to spend money with you later. That's why people don't spend an advertisement on a Xfinity on HGTV once and then you never see them again. It's repetition. You see them every single time you are watching one of the great television things on HGTV. So it's that repetition. It's the same thing when you're going on to social media. If you say that you're going to do doesn't have to be an everyday type of thing. If you say maybe every Friday or maybe every first Friday of the month, you're going to do a live meet the artist thing, and I'm going to show you what I'm working on. Those can be very powerful tools, because you build in that expectation of, this is where we're going to get to be able to interact with each other. So cultivate those channels, keep it consistent. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to post on every single channel that's out there, but you do need to have a presence on them. You may not like Twitter, and that's okay. But you still want to have a username on Twitter and have a presence. Even if you only post once a year or once a month to keep the page active, if you don't post at all and it's just there for 3 years, that's fine. But social media is not about you. It's about the person that's following you. It's the platform that they like. So if for some gift, a Kardashian or one of the local news agencies takes a liking to your art and they want to share it, if you are not on Instagram or if you're not on Twitter and that happens to be their favorite platform and they share your images, but they have no way to directly tag you by mentioning your username, then it's, first of all, you don't know that they ever mentioned you. They may have 1 million followers. Now, those 1 million followers that you were mentioned on have no easy way to just click through and learn more about you. So it's a missed opportunity. So just realize that it's important to have a presence and to be aware of it, but you don't have to post to it every single day. So don't have those missed opportunities of someone that has 1 million+ followers mentioning you. So if Oprah ever wants to mention me, I'm all for it. And I want to be on whatever platform Oprah is on. So finding your niche. If you're using Facebook, the power of Facebook is sharing events, whether it be virtual or in person, and using it for live videos. live video is very important to all of the platforms right now because they want to be their own television station, basically. YouTube had the Super Bowl. So people were watching the Super Bowl on YouTube. If you think about five years ago, that wouldn't have been possible. And it's what we're seeing now is that with Facebook, it's all about the events, and it's starting to be more and more about video content. People want to see what people are doing, and they want to see it and interact with them. Live videos give you that ability to have a message that pops up and says, Lemon Agency is live right now, and they're sharing XYZ. Let me come back here one more time. Coming back. Okay, hang on. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I talk with my hands, so sometimes I hit the keyboard. Okay. So with Facebook, if you post once, maybe twice a day, that's about the most I would do. When you start to go beyond that, Facebook actually throttles you back so that you're not actually going to be seen by as many people. And realize too, if you're out posting on Facebook and you have 100 followers, 1 to 2% of your followers will ever see your post organically. So that means 1 to 2 people out of 100. And that's being generous right now. It's probably closer to, for every 500, 1 or 2 people see your post. Their business model is that they want you to pay for advertising to have it seen by more people. So don't get frustrated, build your base, and more people will see it. When you have a very good performing post, that's when you spend money to put $10, $20 behind it and have it be seen by more people. If it's not a very good performing post, it's not going to perform much better by putting money behind it. So put your post out there first, get organic reach from it. If it's a good performing post, then put some money behind it. Twitter is great for that constant communication. You can just, put as many of them out there because they have a half-life of about 3 seconds, but realize that anything that you say on Twitter lasts forever. So be sure that what you want to say is something that you don't want to come back and bite you 3 years, 4 years later. So choose your words carefully. Instagram, choose your best visuals for your wall and share them there. But stories on Instagram is an incredibly underutilized tool that is incredibly important. If you're trying to share something to get to a larger audience, and maybe it's the paint manufacturer you see on the sidebar and you use their paint all the time. Maybe they have an Instagram page that has 2 million followers and you would love to get your work featured by them. Their wall is cultivated and it's perfect and it goes through an approval process. That wall has to be approved. So you may get featured on them in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 6 months. But if you put something into your stories and you tag them, the story only lasts for 24 hours. And most brand managers have some very flexible ability to say, yep, this is really good and it's on brand for us. And it shows them using our product, we can share it. And they still give you the exposure to their followers, but there's less commitment of it being forever. It's only going to be on their stories for 24 hours. So Instagram stories is incredibly valuable if you're tagging, whether it be the shirt you're wearing or the paintbrush you like to use or the chisel or the drill, those type of connections. And it's that repetitiveness that gets them to make sure that they're then following you and paying attention to what they are. And you follow them and you look and see what type of stuff they're already sharing. It makes it very easy. Find something that's very similar to what they already like to share and create content that's very similar so that you can get in front of their followers. YouTube is the best place for you to be an expert on something or unboxing your favorite item that shows up. If Dugan's got a new bandsaw, an unboxing video of a bandsaw would be very popular on YouTube because people want to know, how did it show up? How difficult is it to set up? What's the learning curve on using this new piece of equipment? So YouTube can be a great way to get in front of people, to be the expert or to be just getting excited about a new piece of equipment that you're using, whether it be a paintbrush or a drill or a bandsaw or whatever it is. All right, and then finally, your website, your personal website. People don't organically just go to your website. There are some search engine optimization tools that you can use to try to make sure that you're getting in front of people when they're searching certain key phrases in your industry. But your website is going to be the main thing that you use as part of your email campaigns to make sure that you're directing people there. A lot of us use Apple or Android products, but when was the last time that you went directly to their website just for fun and when you didn't absolutely positively need something from them? So even a top 100 brand will have website visitors, but they're going there for most of the time FAQs and customer complaints if they already aren't complaining on Twitter or Facebook. So your website is a great thing, but it's great if you have a landing page on that site that's giving people a reason to be there and spend some money. Now, just as we've talked about on using videos on everything else, why is it important that we're using videos? Because videos work. If you're not comfortable on camera, it's time to start getting comfortable. It doesn't have to be perfect. People don't expect perfect. They want sincerity. They want honesty, and mistakes are going to happen, and that's going to be okay. But social media generates 1,200 more shares when it is a video instead of just a photo or text or something else. So many people watch videos online every single day. And if you're out there using videos, you're going to be growing your business 49% faster than other brands that don't. Okay. Now, when we're doing our social media posts, it's important to be just not throwing stuff up and not putting any text with it. You want to encourage engagement because social media is about being social. You want to have something that is prompting someone to have an action, telling them of a deal or telling them something that engages to say, my favorite movie is because what's your favorite movie? You're always enticing them to answer a question in return, because anytime someone presses like or puts a comment, social media's algorithm is going to then say, oh, this is something that people are interested in because more people are commenting, more people are liking. So then they start to put it in front of more of your audience. So it's that wheel that fills itself. And so it's going to be getting, the more times you can get people to answer a question, the more people are going to see your content. Excuse me. So share what's going on in your life, share your favorite things. Random giveaways work. So do discounts. If anyone gets the mail and they have a Bed Bath and Beyond coupon, those never expire. People pile them up and they go in and they use 5 at a time. And that's great because it's that repetition. If you have scraps of something, or if you have a small 2x2 piece of art that you're doing, you can do random giveaways. And if instead of spending $20 or $40 to promote a social media post, if you gave away something and asked people to comment and like to be entered, you can't read the service agreements with your social media pages. You normally cannot ask them to tag their friends. You can normally ask them to follow your page, but you can ask them to like and comment, and which is a great thing because when you do that, it also gives you the ability to go through in the likes and actually then invite those people that aren't already following your page on Facebook to follow your page, which is an incredibly important tool. So random giveaways work. Doesn't have to be $50, it can be $5. Little things work, and the smaller they are, the better, because then it's easier and cheaper for you to ship. Okay. All right, and remember, it is social media, so always respond to your messages and comments and times. If you just post it and forget it, you're actually missing the point of social media and digital marketing. Now, this is getting back into the starting part of building the funnel. Subscribing, building an email subscription list is incredibly, incredibly valuable. So if you have someone that you've emailed, they are 3 times more likely to share your social media content if they're already on your email list. they're also 130. They also spend 138 times more with the people that they're already on an email list. So you don't have to spam them every single day on an email list. It can be once a week. It can be once a month. However you feel comfortable with it, by keeping that touch of here's my email, this is what's going on, here's a new piece of work that I have going on, you're building your value and their trust in you. So one of the things that I actually love a lot is the local wineries have wine clubs, but I've never seen an art club for a local artist. And it's very much like wine. I have a taste in a specific type of art, and I like that. I'm more likely to buy that same style of art over and over again, just like I would maybe if I like a really nice wine from a local winery. So there's some possibilities there for an art club if they sign up and they say, all right, once a quarter, you're going to receive a credit that we're going to charge you, and you can pick from one of 5 pieces of art, or, we can send you you give them a discount so that you're sending them a new piece of art once a quarter, once a year, once every 6 months. It's up to you on what you want to do, but there are some opportunities for having a recurrent billing situation. And I know from experience that the wine clubs have saved many of the wineries through COVID, because that is built-in sales every quarter, whether or not they were even open to be able to see people come in. Okay, so when you're building marketing funnels, the first thing is your social media awareness, building product awareness. So that's where your paid advertising, that's where the first touch is to find a new person that might like your art. That's where you're putting your money, because with a paid promotion, you can narrow it down to, I want to talk to people within 50 miles, or I want to talk to people that only like woodworking, or I want to talk to people that only like fiber arts. And so you can start to target to what exactly your ad is promoting. Then as part of that, it's the consideration. So then you're talking about sending them with a link to your landing page to say, we have a special for you. It's 15 off this month. Or if you sign up for our email list, you're going to get the first to know about different things where we're going to be at. It's an insider track is what you're trying to build, so they have some incentive to click and subscribe to your email list that's going to be on your landing page. Because remember, it's not just about having more people like you on social media. It's about building that email list. That is your gold. Okay. And then the conversion of taking someone from a fan and actually taking them over to a purchase, they're not going to do it on the first time in most cases. That's incredibly rare. It's the 10th or the 12th touch of, hey, just want to let you know we're doing this. This is what's new. This is what we have. That email that goes out, the follow, the like, the comment, the engagement back and forth. That is a slow process. So don't feel that it's going to happen on the second time you send an e-blast out, that all of a sudden you're going to have 60 subscribers and 60 people open it. The industry average is less than 10% for even an open rate. So again, realize if you have 100 people on an email list, then if 10 or 20 people open up that email, you are well ahead of the curve. So don't be disturbed or persuaded one way or the other in saying this isn't working, I'm not making sales. You want to just stick to it. It's consistency. And then the last one is that engagement. This is the most important thing, that when you do sell something to someone, you have the opportunity now to turn them into a salesman for you. If you're shipping something to them, have that wonderful little note in there of thanking them for their purchase and encouraging them to maybe share a discount code with a friend, or even just, hey, if you can suggest, if you want to share this with your friends on social media, take a picture and we'll give you a discount later, or we would love to share. If it's nothing more than just a social brag of, we would love to share photos of you having our art in your house. Then they're taking it, putting it up, and now all of their friends are seeing your work. So that engagement is actually converting sales to referrals, which that completes the funnel. Now you've got new people in the funnel, increasing awareness, considering purchasing, converting them into buyers, and then taking them and making them your salesman and rotating it through. So it's that self-filling funnel of one customer gives you hopefully 5 more, those 5 and 5 more and 5 more and 5 more. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So we've already talked about this. I tend to get ahead of myself. These are going to be the slides that you can refer back to later about the 1% of social media followers that actually see your post, that your website and landing page are encouraging people to subscribe to your email list. Wix and Square, there's nothing wrong with them. They have free website options. And if you're already using Square for taking transactions, Square can easily set you up with a website that you can then load in pictures of your art, and you can sell directly from that website. And when it sells, then the next day you're going to receive your cash the same channel through Square. And it's a very robust point and click website builder. And if you want to have a custom URL, you can incorporate that as well. So that's then takes it a little step further, and it's not free, but then it's personally branded for your URL that you purchased. So, and that's easy to expand later. Again, this talks about the conversion purchase, taking that initial purchase and helping people. It's that 15% off coupon that you get in the mail. It's people want a deal, or at least a perceived deal, or they want to feel like they have the insiders. So maybe it's not a deal because you don't have that kind of profit margin built into your product yet, but maybe it's an early access situation of you have first right to look at my new art, and you're seeing it before anybody else, and you're getting the pick. So this is an insider track to you getting to see my art a few days or a few hours before anybody else. Whatever makes them feel special, so that there is a greater value to being on your email list and to being a fan for you. And again, taking that engagement and turning those buyers into additional referrals and friends so that they can share it and get more incentives. All right, so a few of the key takeaways. I don't like reading things off of slides. Give me 1 second. Okay. So again, the more that people know about an artist, the more comfortable they're going to be to buy their art. That's true with anybody. I don't walk into any retail store. I'm not going to do a lot of research on Best Buy and anything else. But when I do walk in, I'm always kind of curious, how easy is the return policy? Are their prices the same as other people? Are they selling things that are going to break a lot? So we all do the little checks and balances of, do I buy from here or do I buy from there? Do I buy from Home Depot because it's easier for me to do a return if I have any problems with it versus Lowe's? There's always those biases that force us that push us in one direction or another on any purchase that we make. So make it as easy as possible for your customers to check all the boxes so that they're comfortable with you. And when they're ready to buy, make sure that you're continuing that emotional connection, building that relationship, thanking them, and wanting to see where they're displaying your art, because then it continues the conversation. And all of those different stages of the marketing funnel are going to utilize different tools, and the tools will change. And don't be afraid of change. So when you're out there and you're playing with different things, just take a look at it and say, what's working, what's not working. And remember, don't just throw a Facebook post up there and then start throwing money behind it. Try a few things, see what's getting some organic reach, and then take those and say, all right, this is what people want to see, and then start putting money behind those that are already successful. So there we go. So we are at the Q&A portion, folks. So I want to make this available to everybody. This is my direct personal cell phone number. So please feel free to write that down. If you call that number, I pick up. The office line will normally go to voicemail because I'm on the phone a lot with my clients, and I'm on the phone a lot with the media. So, but if you're calling my direct line and you have a quick question, I want to be here to answer for you and have you bounce things off of me. So that's what I'm here for. The fact that you're in this class tells me that you're interested in trying to increase your sales in your business. I'm not saying that you're looking for a PR firm, and that's okay. But if you have a question, you say, you talked about how to build that funnel and how to do a landing page. This is what I'm trying to do. Am I on the right track? Perfect. Or if you're looking for somebody to build a website and that, that's not going to be me, I can give you referrals to, here's people that can do different tasks for you. So all kinds of different things there. So let me go ahead and bounce out of this and we'll stop sharing. And
Great.
let's have a conversation.
Thank you, Patrick. That was very interesting. I feel like you have torn the curtain away a little bit and kind of explained some of the behavior that I see on social media all the time that I don't really understand. It drives me nuts a little bit sometimes, but now it's all beginning to make sense a little bit. Is this stuff you just told us, is this kind of insider industry knowledge? I mean, everybody who's doing this and trying to game the system knows this is how it works.
You've now walked behind the curtain of Oz. Yeah. So this is the standard practice for social media and for all marketing, regardless of social media or not. It's about building the trust, filling the funnel, and making sure that we're taking people and converting them into our own salesman. So because if you feel good about buying something on Amazon and then you post a review on Amazon, you've just become a salesman for them, because now it's a third-party endorsement. And anytime we have endorsements that are third-party, whether it's someone else that we know from our neighborhood, if it's a corona situation, we want to hear from doctors and nurses. If it's something that's art related, we want to hear from successful artists. So it's really about trying to find who's the expert in that field and then getting other people to share their opinion with us one way or the other on a review, or sharing photos of it being used in real life, or just talking about the process. So one of the best things that can happen to anybody, I see Katie's painting and actually working in her studio, and that's awesome. I want you to keep working because I want to see what's on that you're working on, because I love what's behind you. So, when you're out there, here we go. We get a sneak peek, everybody. Oh, yes. You're speaking to my love of dairy from Grass Valley. So that's awesome. So, it's really one of those things of, we want to try to help people get excited about what we're doing. And if you can do that, then it doesn't become a sales tactic. You're building that relationship. So that's all about it. And, whether you're working in the field or working at a farmer's market or harvesting grapes, there are so many things out there that are branded that we can touch on to expand our audience that we don't even think about. If you're taking a picture of a new painting, you're holding it outside and your shoes happen to be on, maybe they're Crocs because they're comfortable in the studio, and you're not tagging Croc in that post, it's a missed opportunity because maybe they have 3 million followers. So, look at every little tiny opportunity to connect what you're sharing and what you use every day. Even if it's, I'm delivering a painting in my new Subaru Ascent, hey, there's nothing to say that Subaru may not throw money at you later and say, we want you to be our brand ambassador, and we're going to give you a new Subaru Ascent every year so that you're driving around delivering your art. If you reach enough followers and you have 1 million followers or 2 million followers, anything is possible. I mean, the Kardashians have been on TV for years and years, and they are just the Kardashians. There's really nothing special about that.
When you're talking about doing that, is it only in the hashtag era, like the Instagram? Or are you hashtag?
It's different everywhere. You want to, if the most compelling place to reach out to other brands, Katie, is on Instagram, and you could either be your wall post, but more importantly, it's tagging them because you're still talking about them, but don't expect anything on your wall post because they do have to go through approval processes because that is forever. And I mean, when we're putting through things for Instagram for the wall, just like we're looking at here with everyone in the gallery view, they move things around and they may shuffle 6 different posts so that the colors are pleasing to the eye when you're looking at the entire page. So it's not just about something that goes up today. They're looking at how is this going to look for the 9 posts around it. So for Instagram, you really have to think of it as 2 separate platforms. There's the wall post, and then there's the story. And stories are incredibly valuable. We did a farmer's market and we posted Snow Citrus has a lemon sea salt. And we took one of their sea salts, put it in the basket of lemons, took a picture. We tagged in the story, Sac Farm to Fork, California grown, visit California, California Citrus Council, visit Placer, explore Auburn. I mean, the list went on and on. We had about 10, 15 people, and he immediately started getting order requests from people in Southern California because California Grown had shared the story and Sac Farm to Fork had shared it. And, you know, all of a sudden now a page that maybe had 7,000 followers, we actually had, when we went back and looked at the metrics on that post, it was over 300,000 eyeballs on the one story. It was only up for a day. So if we're talking about adding Carhartt or Subaru, you know, it becomes incredibly valuable to share those and tag. So, but what I love to do the most is when I'm taking those stories is if I invited everybody on the screen right now to dinner and said, hey, you're all invited to come on over to dinner. Well, first of all, you all know that how many people have been invited. And you're like, well, the timing's not perfect for me, so I may not, because I'm sure other people are going to show up to the dinner party. But if I sent you all blind invitations saying, hey, I'd like you to come have dinner, now you don't know if it's one person that's been invited or 300. Instagram stories, if you shrink down the tags and use the little color matcher so that all the tags disappear, now when they've been tagged, they feel special because they only see that you mentioned them because it popped up in their stories. They don't have any clue. I'm sorry, Katie, say that again.
Do you know how to do that? Shrink down?
Yep. If you just so after you type in all of the handles on stories, you'll see them. They'll be nice and big on the picture. You can just squeeze the picture, the text, and it'll make it tiny. And the more you squeeze, the tinier the text gets. And then in the bottom left corner of here, let me do a little screen thingy here. So if I take a photo. Okay, so I have a photo here, okay? First thing I'm going to do is right there where the text is, I'm going to tap there and it's going to come up in the middle. I'm going to do Center for the Arts, okay? All right, so now, once I have that, in the bottom corner here, you'll see the little eyedropper. You can pick the eyedropper and then pick any color, and now that text disappears. So by doing that, you can then take it and make it shrink and go away, and now they have no idea if you tagged just them or if you've tagged 15 other people. So the important part of that is that, again, now it's that the dinner party analogy. If I invite 100 people, less people are going to show up if they don't know that if there's 20 people or 10 people or 100 people. But if they can all see the guest list, they're less likely to actually share it because they don't feel special. So, but now if I've shared a story and there's like 15 people that have done it, they all start to share that story. And now I get to basically ride their coattails on 15 different story shares. It's incredibly, incredibly powerful. Jake, you look like you have a question.
Well, I want to make sure we're almost out of time. I want to make sure we get David's question. And he wants to know specifically, how do you convert Instagram followers onto your email list?
No problem. So the important thing is that in your bio link if you're going to use anything right there in your bio link and it's going to go to your website, I start to use things called link trees so that you're making sure, and whatever happens to your link tree, make sure that your email list is always going to be at the top, so that if they click through to there, and always it's that ask. If you ever watch YouTube, they always are saying, hey, if you're enjoying this, before we get any further, click like, hit subscribe. It's that mantra. It's the same thing when you're doing any other post on your Instagram. If you're trying to convert and build that email list, it's about saying, hey, if you want to be the first to know about my new available art, sign up for my mailing list, links in my bio. And that link tree then gives you the ability to still share everything else that's going on, but you've grabbed it and it's free. So, and especially for nonprofits, Jake, there's other ones that are called tap bios that actually offer visuals. And so many of these different tools out there like Canva and everything else, they're free to nonprofits. So if you have the 501c3, do not pay for any subscriptions on any of the tools until you've asked them, do you have a free option for nonprofits? Because 95% of them actually do. So, and then you have a Canva tool that you have all the access to all the free photos and everything else. But I'm very much in the camp of, whenever possible, do not use stock imagery because it all has metadata. Metadata is basically the little tracker, the thumbprint. So when I post a photo, if I'm using the stock imagery from Canva or from Adobe Photos or anything else, it may be a great photo that I've seen a few times, but you got to remember, Facebook and Instagram, their algorithms show all of the posts worldwide. So if you have a stock image that you're using, chances are that it's already been used a million times by other people. And unless you know how to scrub metadata, which most people don't, and in most cases with stock imagery, you're not allowed to do that as part of your term of contract. So it's going to, if you've used stock imagery and it goes out there, even less people are going to see it. Then you get to be about 1% of 1% of 1% if you're using stock imagery. So, and by
Patrick, if I could bump you back to converting Instagram followers to the email list. I get the thing about the link tree in the bio.
Yep.
But how do I get them to click on that? The link tree do you have any suggestions about, getting them to do that?
Yeah, the industry standard is what's in it for me. Right. So they're not going to do it just because they want to do it. I mean, do you want to be on more email lists? I mean, I spend more of my time going through and getting people taken off of my email list because I have 1,500 a day or 1,500 an hour. So it has to be worth their while. So what are you providing for them as an incentive to have one more email in their inbox? Is it going to be early access? Is it going to be a discount? Is it going to be special live events, or maybe and the great thing right now is if you don't have all of the stuff and you can't do other things to really put money in the bank for them, well, you can do little tutorials and you can do, hey, it's a Friday evening wine hour with the artist, and anyone that's on my mailing list will get an invitation to join me on Friday as I work in my studio. You can ask me questions, but the only way you get that invitation is by being on my email list. This is not a public event forum. So find something that you can give away. And one of the things that we can all give away is our time and access to us. So find what's going to work, tweak it around, change it, but it's got to be, please sign up. And by signing up, this is what you're going to get. So it's the what's in it for me. Does that help you, David?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. David, what do you do?
Visual artist.
What's your medium?
Painter, acrylic painting. And I'm doing pretty well on Instagram. I just started in earnest about a couple of months ago, and definitely getting some traction, but a lot of what you said helps, particularly the stories thing. I'm still a little confounded about hashtags and figuring out which ones are going to, oh, really?
Yeah. Think
Tell
about
me
it this way.
more.
Here's the thing with hashtags. The most you can do is 30. If you do 31, no one will see it. It blocks you out. The other thing is that on certain hashtags, there is a blacklist of things that Instagram doesn't tell you about. That if you use an eggplant emoji, or there are certain hashtags that will basically make it so that 0 people, I mean literally 0 people, will ever see that image. So you don't know what they are. They don't share what that blacklist is. So you could stumble into something of saying, well, here's Daisy in the photo, so I'm going to use hashtag Daisy. For whatever reason in the cycle, Daisy is a blacklisted thing. Who knows? It's just an example. So if you stick to 5 or 10 hashtags, or even 3 hashtags, think of it this way. If you would follow something as a handle, like visit Nevada County, then use Nevada County, or visit Nevada City, or visit Grass Valley, or any of those. Then use that as a hashtag, because I can guarantee you that there are other people that are already following that. And you can actually search the hashtags and find out how many people are searching for it, whether it's acrylic painter or anything else. And it's just like following a page, except it's following a hashtag. It's following a lot of people instead of just one person. So that's all a hashtag is, just on Instagram. So find the ones that are going to be the most direct ability to build for you, because they are really, they matter. So don't just put them in there because they're willy-nilly. If you put Subaru in there and there's no Subaru in it, you're just going to piss off a lot of people that are following Subaru because they love WRXs and seeing these things go around dirt tracks. So, but if you've got a beautiful shot of a Subaru with your art next to it and it's next to the snow, go for it.
Okay. Patrick, we're really out of time. I want to ask you one last question, though, because it seems you haven't mentioned TikTok at all. How does TikTok fit in? Isn't that the future?
I'm too old. I'm too old for TikTok.
Isn't that the demographic we're after?
Yeah, it's there's a certain level if you're willing to do some dances and some other things. It's just like anything else. Doesn't mean that I don't have TikTok handles, because I don't want someone else going out there and having my identity, because my brand identity across all of the different platforms is important. I want to make sure that if I need to be paying attention to that, I still have a TikTok handle. No one else is going to be Lemon Tree Agency on TikTok. And I can guarantee it's the same things happened with Toyota and Mercedes and Porsche and everything else, because they've had their identity ransomed in the past for Facebook and everywhere else. So if you're not into doing dances and having a little bit of fun with just, the different pokey things with TikTok, have the handle so that nobody else can steal your identity, but don't feel that you have to go down that direction. It's the same reason why you may have not been on MySpace or anything else. So trends will come and go. You may not be on Reddit or Parler or anything else. If Parler's going away, but it's important to have a presence, but don't feel beaten into having to do silly dances or be on TikTok. Know your brand, represent yourself, protect your brand, but be true to yourself. And as long as you have an audience, your email list is going to be your brand. Don't worry about all of the trends that come and go. If you have a great success on YouTube and that's where your following is going, then put all your energy into YouTube and build more email subscriptions on that, because the email at the end of the day is going to be what's going to help you convert people from just a fan to a collector. Does that help?
Yep. Great. Thank you very much, Patrick.
No problem. And I want everybody to share what your handle is. If you're on Instagram, what's your handle? So David, unmute. What's your handle on Instagram?
At David King Collage. David King Collage, COLLAGE.
Got it. Katie, are you on Instagram?
Yeah, at Katie Wolf Studio.
Perfect. And Betty, are you on Instagram?
Muted.
Up. If you can unmute, normally if you hit your space bar, it's like a walkie-talkie.
Like that?
Yes, perfect.
Oh, okay. I'm not used to this. So you're not active on Instagram. I have an account. All my colleagues tell me, get with it, do it. And I haven't been. Silly me. Are there any good online tutorials for Instagram for people like us who are, like me, who are reluctant?
Sure. I mean, and Instagram does a good job of doing that just on their own, and they'll have a lot of helpful tutorials.
Okay,
But normally, if you go to Google and search YouTube and how to start an Instagram account, there will be 100 videos telling you how to do it. You normally have to have a Facebook account first in many cases. But if you have questions on how to start it, Betty, you've got my contact information. Reach out, and I can help walk you through it.
I'm hearing all these wonderful tips. Yeah, I have the account, and like I said, my colleagues say just do it. It's very effective. So thank you.
You bet. Caroline, are you on Instagram?
No, I'm not. I'm kind of like Betty, haven't figured it out. And the reason I haven't figured it out is because somehow Instagram has me up, and I didn't sign up for it, but years ago, somehow they have an account. And then I tried to convert it to a business account because everyone said you need a business account if you're representing your art. Yep. And I couldn't figure that out. So
that's okay. We can walk you through that too, because that's just about making sure you're downloading the app and using it on a phone. So if you have a smartphone, that will solve a lot of your phone. You can't do almost anything on Instagram on a computer. So we can walk you through it and help you get there. That's not a problem.
Okay. Thanks.
Who else do we have? There you go. Go for it.
Oh, I'm Michelle Jewett. So my Instagram account is at Michelle Jewett Art. And it's MICHLLEJEWETT Art.
Perfect. Okay, is there anybody else that wanted to share their Instagram? Kelsey, did you want to share your Instagram?
Oh no, it's okay. I'm just listening in.
And congratulations on the baby, Kelsey.
Thank you. Yeah, for everyone listening, Patrick was my internship coordinator for a couple of months, and he's just a joy to work with. So I always have to follow what he's doing and listen to all these great tips, especially the little camouflage tags in the stories. Thank you, Patrick.
No problem. Do we have any other questions before we wrap up? I really appreciate everybody taking the time out of their day to come and meet with us and learned. So if you walked away with one thing, then I say it's a success, but you've got one more friend in the industry and I'm here for you. So don't get frustrated out there when you have questions. Just give me a call. That's what I'm here for.
I'll call you. Thank you.
Hey, awesome.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Reminder, this can be seen, and you can share it with your friends at the centerforthearts.org. And we will be back in 2 weeks on the 7th to talk with Julia Amaral about her adventures on the South Pole. And this Friday, we have live at the center, online, the Fula Brothers. Please join us. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Patrick. We'll see you again.
Thanks. I'm turning back in. I want to see those penguins.
Great.
Bye, guys.
Bye, folks.